Big news for the Seminoles today as they land a commitment at probably the most perfect time possible. Based on the position, based on other worries, other fears, other concerns at that position. We'll talk about all of that, but any concerns or fears or doubts that Florida State fans might have about the 2025 recruiting of quarterbacks, it probably got quenched just a little bit when Brady Smigiel committed to Florida State. He's a 2026 quarterback out of Newberry Park, California. Again, 2026 class, so it's going to be a while before he's on campus, but the timing of this could not be better. I want to talk about some of the fears, some of the worries that Florida State fans undoubtedly have with what's going on with Tramell Jones Jr., which we've talked about a couple of times on this channel now. But first, we are going to talk about Brady and his commitment to the Noles. He's a 6'4", 6'4.5", 215-pound quarterback, 2026 class again, and he's rated very, very highly with a lot of time to continue to improve. His stats are absolutely off the charts. We're showing you some of his highlights here now, and hopefully you are enjoying those, and hopefully you go over to huddle.com and you watch a few more of these because there's a lot more than we can even show you. But On3 Industry has him as a top 50 player, at number 43 nationally. He's the number 5 quarterback over there. He's top 75 on 247's rankings. He's number 55 on ESPN's, and he's the number 1 overall quarterback. He's a 5-star on Rivals. A lot of time between now and when he will eventually put pen to paper for those ratings to potentially increase. Obviously, they could go the other way as well, but with the way that this kid throws the ball, the absolute insane, gaudy numbers that he's thrown for his first 2 seasons in high school, and really just the way that you continue to expect him to develop, this could be one of the most special quarterback talents that Florida State has had and has picked up in a long, long time. And that includes guys like Cromenhog, guys like Glenn, guys like Winston. He could be up there with those guys when he signs and puts pen to paper for, hopefully, Florida State. In his last 2 years, he's got over 7,700 passing yards, 98 touchdowns to just 25 interceptions, and nearly a 62% completion percentage. He's incredibly athletic. He does a great job standing tall in the pocket and really delivering the ball. He's got incredible zip on it, a very strong arm, and he's really, really accurate. Of course, you'd love to see that percentage dip up just a little bit. It's gotten better over his time in high school, but he's going to be a junior this year, then going into his senior year. I'd expect that and anticipate that to continue to rise. He's gotten better from his freshman to sophomore year. The thought that a sophomore quarterback has thrown for nearly 8,000 yards and 2 short of 100 touchdowns as a freshman and sophomore is absurd. And the numbers that he will probably put up in his junior and senior seasons are going to be ridiculous. Really, really strong kid that Mike Norvell and Tony Tokars and Alex Atkins absolutely love. They do a great job when quarterback recruiting is happening. They do a great job of making sure that they're one of the first to identify talent, to make sure that they're drawing talent in, and make sure that they are all over these young prospects really before anybody else. And they've had a very good track record of doing that. You think about Luke Cromenhog coming in as an unranked prospect when they offered him. You think about Tramell Jones being kind of a low 3-star when they had got him committed. We'll talk about Tramell in just a moment. But now a kid that's a 4-star, blowing up a lot of places, going out and competing really well at the Elite 11, a kid that your biggest rival's trying to get away from you. We'll see what ends up happening with that. But you've also then got Brady here, who Norvell, again, got in on early, really, really good evaluation, and a kid that could be really, really good for you for a long time. Now, again, it is a 2026 commit, and so you've got a long time to go before he ends up putting pen to paper, but you've got about 18 months. If the Noles can hold on, if they can keep him committed, you're going to see a really special quarterback in Tallahassee in a couple of years. All right. Let's talk a little bit about Tramell Jones and why this might be so perfectly timed. Just before we go into that, I do want to give some love to our friends over at the Mango Board. I was in the grocery store this morning with all 3 kids, and we were picking up a cake for my son's birthday. This isn't a plug for that cake, but it is a reminder that you should go and grab some mangoes, because as excited as they were for that cake that was in our cart, they were begging me to go to the other side of the fruit aisle and grab some mangoes. And so we did that. Your kids will be excited about it. You will be excited about it. And truth be told, I'm glad that they had more mango today than they had birthday cake, but make sure that you are making mangoes part of your weekly grocery trip. Whether you're going to Publix, Costco, Sam, doesn't matter. Make sure that you go ahead and pick up some mangoes. We appreciate the Mango Board for their support, not only of Florida State Athletics, but our channel as well. When you see them in the fall at different events, make sure you go by and say hi, pick up some swag, tell them TJ sent you, and go see the Mango Board. All right, let's talk about Tramell Jones just a little bit. There is concern and there is worry about what's going on with that recruitment. And so what if Florida State's not able to hold on there? Obviously, the kid is on his official visit right now, but if Florida State's not able to hold on there, or if the two parties part ways, I think Florida State, if they wanted to, could absolutely hold on in this recruitment. I think there are factors that are in play here that we are choosing wisely what we want to do or how we want to move forward. And I think there are factors for Jones in his camp and his family that make other things pretty interesting, pretty, enticing. I think Florida State could absolutely lock Tramell down. I think that they could absolutely say, like, hey, we're going to get this shut down. We're going to do this right now. But I do think that the way that quarterbacks are valued by different programs is different. I think Florida State really, really likes their quarterback room. I think they're very happy with not only DJ this year, but Brock Glenn, Luke, having Brady coming in 2026. You obviously think about the walk-on, the kid that's a PWO in there as well. I don't think they're hurting for quarterbacks. And so I don't think that they're going to overcommit. I don't think they're going to extend themselves to a point that's just ridiculous or past what they want to do. I think they're going to lay out like, hey, man, here's what we're able to do. Here's what our path is. And if that works for you, great. If not, no worries. There are different reports. There are different things we've talked about within our Discord, within the private Patreon channels that maybe we won't share publicly here, but if you want access to those, you can certainly go into the description of this video and go get access to that. But I've got some concerns of whether or not Jones ends up in this class or not. Certainly would love for him to come out after this weekend and shut things down and say, like, look, I'm not going to take any more visits. I am committed, like I said I was, to Florida State. If he chooses to do something else, I think Florida State does have some backup options. I also think that they would be okay getting through this 2025 cycle without a quarterback. Now, that would put a heightened importance on keeping Brady committed for the next 18 months and not losing him too. But your transition from Brock Glenn to Luke to Smigiel would be fine. I think you'd be in a really good situation there. And at the end of the day, again, you're going to value certain positions. You're going to value certain players and skill sets the way that you do. And I certainly have questions about different things that this staff has done. I don't think this staff is perfect by any means. I have zero questions, zero concerns about how they build out a quarterback room. I have zero questions or zero concerns about the way that they're building that room on this roster. I trust Mike Norvell's evaluations, Tony Tokar's evaluations, the work that Alex Atkins does, the work that this staff does, Derek Ray, the way that they evaluate, offer, and build that quarterback room is pretty unmatched. And if they need to pivot in that 25 class, they will. If they don't take a quarterback in the 2025 class, I feel really good. If they're able to keep Jones in the class, obviously I feel even better. You want to stack quarterback talent year after year after year. I don't think it's a loss that Florida State would be just absolutely torn up about. I certainly don't think they'd be thrilled with it. I don't think they're trying to push anybody out, but I think it's a loss that they feel like they could withstand with the depth that is in that room now, and also the depth that looks like it's coming in there in the 2026 class. I really do like this pickup, though, in and of itself, not just for the timing, not just because of the concerns around Jones. I think Brady has a chance to be the absolute cornerstone of this class. You have seen when a quarterback has the cachet or the swag or the impact that a five-star elite quarterback has. You think about Lagway over at UF. Obviously, Luke had that too, but he certainly rose during his time, whereas Lagway was just kind of always that top-tier quarterback, throughout the recruitment cycle. I think this helps your class a ton. And guys want to play with other elite talents, and Brady is going to be that the entire time that he's committed. Whereas Luke rose through the ranks. You knew he would get there, but it wasn't, Luke wasn't just this five-star the entire time. And I think that's going to help with recruiting in 2026. Ballers want to play with ballers. They want to play with other elite kids. And I think Brady being committed right now is going to help you really build that class out over the next 18 months. Obviously, there's a ton of work to do in the 25 class. We're going to talk about that and probably have a video dropping on Monday talking about a lot of the official visits. So if you're not subscribed, if you're not locked in with the channel, go ahead and fix that right now by clicking on the subscribe button. But we have some updates coming. I think this has been a good official visit weekend. I think there's some hits, some misses that we'll talk about. Again, probably coming out on Monday morning. So make sure that you're locked in and you don't miss this or don't miss that. But a lot of work to do in 2025, but you're already kind of starting to see 2026, how that could be a really, really nice class. And you've started it off with one of the best pieces possible. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Really big pickup for Mike Norvell and his staff today. Brady's a Nole. We appreciate you guys for watching. Go Noles.